Good evening, cupcakes. It is a beautiful day here in Bell Terminal in Achenar. I hope your day is going wonderfully. So between last episode and this, I grinded out. Well, I didn't really grind out. I did a whole bunch of missions, um, and got ourselves lots of stuff. Um, I got enough stuff to upgrade the Dominator suit to level 4, to grade 4 rather. And I wanted to do it on camera, but unfortunately, um, it was we were really hurting for inventory space. I also grinded out enough to upgrade the Karma AR50 rather, sorry, to grade 4.
Now that is one formidable weapon.
Yes, just wait until I upgrade it to grade 5 and fully kit it out. And Manticore Tormentor to grade 4 as well. And you might be able to guess what we're going to be doing this episode. We're going to be finding a war system and just heading out and killing dudes. Alright, so we'll go to Phillips Terminal, and hopefully these aren't too far away. Hey all, this is Postray. We're going to be trying something new going forward. See, I have an issue where I kind of focus on the game a little too much, and, you know, what I actually add to the video, not quite as much. And part of that's because I'm not a very good multitasker, part of that's because I really need to be a sweaty tryhard in order to fake even this level of skill, which is not that great. But the point is that a lot of the times what happens is when I try and say something, it gets broken up. I end up talking only during loading screens or when nothing's happening, and that doesn't make for a good video. So I'm going to try and talk about topics after the fact that I talked about during the recording that didn't end up quite so well. And the first one is what we're doing this episode. So mostly what we're going to be doing is we're going to be grinding for money. And really a very efficient way of doing that is by doing ground conflict zones. Now, it's not as good as it used to be. I used to be getting like double the credits from this. I think they nerfed it accidentally. Like, there was a bug that caused stuff to count double. That's what it seemed like to me. But it's still good money. And the reason why is we're saving up for, I believe it's a beluga liner. It's not important. It's a passenger ship is what we're saving up for. That's kind of the main class of ship that we don't have. Yes, technically speaking, there's the AFK moneymaker. It's not great, but it works. But for now, we're just kind of focusing on the beluga liner. We already have a mining ship slash transport ship, so if we wanted to do some trading, or if we wanted to grind out vouchers for power play, we have the Python, Fjord's truck, and if we want to do mining, we can do that. Obviously, we will want to upgrade to an Imperial cutter for the mining ship at least. Maybe we'll have a different dedicated transport, but of course for grinding power play vouchers, the Python is really nice because it can fit in medium-size docking ports. Anyway, we also have our exploration ship, the Imperial Courier. That's Marie's pod racer. And honestly, that's probably the best exploration ship we're going to get. Keep in mind that the main thing with the exploration ship is that we want something that can get out into the black, but also can land on planets really well. And frankly, the Imperial Courier, there's really nothing faster, and so there's nothing better at landing on planets and taking off from planets. So I'd say that's probably where our limit is going to be. Now, eventually we are going to want to get a Jumpaconda in order to go out to Colonia, but that's not really for the exploration, that is for getting out to Colonia. And speaking of, currently our jump ship is the Diamondback Explorer, Filianore's Toaster. That's our bubble bus, and
will remain our bubble bus until we get a jump Aconda. We also have a combat ship, and that is Richthofen's Revenge, which is our fer de lance. Now we are going to want to get, I think it's a Federal Corvette, is the top tier PvE combat ship, but right now we want to get a Beluga liner. That's also going to be really nice for grinding out rank. So we're going to be able to get to that Imperial Cutter and the Federal Corvette a lot sooner. That's the primary goal of this episode, and the stuff that will be going on between this episode and next episode. So that's the plan for today.
So, Emperor's Fist. Yeah, we're going to be fighting for Emperor's Fist today. Anyway, so what do you think? Can we go flawless? Yeah. I guess we will see.
So here I thought I'd try something to improve my frames per second. And of course it is the standard thing that people do to improve their frames per second, which is turn down the graphics quality. It's not great when recording, which is why I've kind of hesitated to do it. I've tried to keep my graphics quality pretty high. Unfortunately, Odyssey, it's just not very well optimized, and so I thought I might improve it a bit. Now, at first, it seemed like medium quality wasn't too bad just looking at the ship. The Vulture is a very basic ship design, but the decrease in quality settings doesn't seem to affect things too much. And that assessment changes drastically when you look at the other models, specifically player and NPC models. The edges of everything are ridiculously jagged, and you can see the pilot's skin texture being about as blurry as can be. Elite Dangerous is a beautiful game, so long as you have the power to run it at good settings. If not, well, it's still fun.
Ooh, boy, that was basically the worst tracking I have ever had in this game. Seriously? Did you just seriously use an explosive barrel as cover? Oh my god. My guy. I'm sorry, but at that point, it's not me killing you. It's you killing you. At that point, it's better to not have cover. So the shield recharge rate, oh my goodness, that is noticeably faster. And we don't even have that engineered. I'm also liking the extra resistance on this suit. Definitely would have died before with a shotgun rocket launcher combo. I don't know if you noticed, we were in the red. Was that a sniper or was that a shotgun? There's no way a shotgun should be killing from that far away. Well, we didn't go flawless this time, unfortunately. I'm thinking maybe in between this episode and next episode I can go and rate some tourist places for opinion polls, and we can pay who is it? My goodness! Still, one shot from a plasma rifle to get rid of my shields. It's pretty ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie. That's why you don't throw a grenade out in the open. I say, having done that many times myself, that I am the player character, therefore I don't flinch. Oof, nice. Alright.
Here I'm talking with Foxway F about Elite Dangerous, and specifically the fact that going forward, you're going to want to be playing it on a PC. It's confirmed at this point that Odyssey and any theoretical future DLC will not be coming to the current console versions, and that makes sense. Odyssey is very poorly optimized, and even with the massive effort that Frontier Dev is putting into optimizing it, it's still not working well. And that goes back to, the whole FPS issue from before. At this point, Elite Dangerous has no chance of running on a console. As for whether or not it's worth it to get on PC, well, There are people that say that the game is dying, but if what these people say does turn out to be prophetic, it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yes, Elite Dangerous has a lot of issues, not the least of which was Odyssey releasing long before it should have, and Frontier bungling the attempt to recover from that. But this is something that the game can recover from. The fanbase turning on the devs, that's harder. But warning people away from a game because it's dying, if people think it will die, they'll be less likely to buy the... If people think it will die, they'll be less likely to buy the game and also less likely to spend time playing it. Elite Dangerous is still a good game, and it's still a lot of fun. But it does have problems. Elite Dangerous isn't doomed, just in a fragile spot. If you'd like to take a chance on it, I like it a lot. And the more people take a chance on it, the more likely that chance is to pay off and the game's doomed averted. But I'm not gonna lie and pretend that the survival of Elite Dangerous is a certainty. It just comes down to how many people take that chance.
Stop strafing. Oh my gosh. Got the moves like Jagger. Hadley Thrash. Oh. Hey. Thank you. Alright, see ya. I hope your day goes well. Thank you for subscribing and have a nice night. See you soon. Look at that. Like, you can tell how beefy these enforcers are. Just based on, like, how much damage the plasma pistol does to them relative to the scouts and the commandos and the sharpshooters. Look at this. Dang it. What are you gonna do? It was a shotgun in close quarters. And you could see, like, it was taking off, what, like a fifth of her health at best? Enforcers are just so frickin' tanky. And then they wield their shotguns and the rocket launchers, and it's just like... they're so much of a pain to deal with. At least the sharpshooters are, like, very squishy. Pull off a bit of a cheeky flank while we're here. Why not? Okay. Oh, that's right.
Controlling area.
Victory punch! Victory punch! Victory punch! Victory punch! Alright. Man, that took a lot longer to explode than I thought it would. I need to start cooking these grenades. I'm pretty sure that's a thing that you can actually do. Let me see. I'm not sure if that actually had an effect. Can you... what? What was that? That was quite the visual glitch. No, absolutely not. Can... help? Can somebody... I seem to be having a bit of an out-of-a-body experience. Also a seizure. What the heck? Oh my gosh, this is... yeah, I know there's someone right next to me, by the way, in case you were wondering. This bug is, kind of making it a little difficult, I'm not gonna lie. It's only while I'm standing and walking and running. Otherwise, like if I'm jumping... Oh my gosh, this is, yeah, that... I'm gonna blame the bug for that. I'm gonna blame the graphical glitch. I think that's fair. Did you guys hear what he said? He said, hunt them down. And say, stand around like jerks. While Ray does all the work. Okay, where was Foxtrot? I think it was over here. Yeah, Foxtrot would have been over here in the power building, and there he is. There, done. I mean, search and rescue sounds kind of cool. Hostage rescue, I'm not so sure. Escort missions kind of suck. I mean, especially if you end up with like covert hostage rescue. That's just, that would be awful. And while search and rescue, you know, like, yeah, okay, that is kind of an escort mission. It really wouldn't be, because you probably wouldn't be expected to escort them through combat, which you might. And especially if it's a covert search and hostage rescue would just be awful. I'm trying to think though about what kind of missions would be nice. But the way they have settlements set up, the way they have settlements set up, I'm not sure if there would be any better options than that hostage search and rescue, or that hostage rescue as well as search and rescue. And as far as like ships go, yeah. I mean, it would be nice if we could salvage engineering materials from ships more easily. Like, yeah, okay, there's those canisters that you can get sometimes with crash ships, but other than that, like, it just doesn't really seem like you can get much in the way of materials from that, which would make sense that you could, you know, or at the very least you can like salvage parts of the ship for selling as scrap. I mean, when you blow up a ship, right, you get engineering materials from that. So why can't you do that with the Odyssey ship crashed? But it seems like they're trying to keep Odyssey and Horizons like completely separate. Like, you don't gain any Horizons benefits from Odyssey. And that seems a little silly to me. What are you gonna do? Oh, you know what I would like? Okay, so when one faction takes control of a station, it just kind of happens, right? I'd like to see there be station-based combat. Yeah, the only repair that you get to do is well, okay, I can understand basic repairs not being a thing because they're gonna have people on staff for that. Like, that wouldn't make sense. Reactivation missions, those make sense because, like, there's nobody there. You're going there. There might be scavengers there because it's been abandoned. All that kind of stuff. But repairing damaged down ships, that actually would make sense. Yeah, I don't think repairing on settlements would make sense, but repairing, like, downed ships for somebody to come pick it up, that would. The only other thing, of course, what everybody wants, Thargoids. Want to battle Thargoids on the ground. Honestly, one thing that that would be cool is profile cloning. Like, you have to clone somebody's profile and then leave the settlement with that profile cloned so that it can be copied over. Like, there's somebody that's going to be infiltrating it, you know, they've already got that, but they want the clone profile first before, you know, because that would make it easier on them or something like that. Because it's like there's one kinetic rifle, there's one laser rifle, there's one kinetic SMG, there's one laser SMG. And it's like, well, hold on now. Why shouldn't there be multiples? Why shouldn't there be ones that are more focused, like an assault rifle that has a higher rate of fire but is less accurate, right? I mean, there's not just one assault rifle. Maybe, you know, having a bullpup assault rifle versus a... I mean, I think actually this one is a bullpup. Hold on. Let me see where... Yeah, it's a bullpup. Ah, goodness. Hey. Allied with the Empire again. Victory punch! Victory punch! Victory punch! You know... with, like, different parts of it being moddable, and, like, being moddable in different ways. Like, for example, the air supply being a helmet upgrade, maybe. Run speed being the Greaves. I can see that. I'm not sure if that would be the way to go, though. I think having different suits basically be... Like, for example, the Maverick suit should be stealthier by nature. Alright? Like, it should have some sort of stealth features built in, like some basic camouflage, things like that. Some basic camouflage, it should be quieter, and you can make it more stealthy, but at its base, it should be better than the Dominator suit or the Artemis suit. The Artemis suit should be better for surviving environments. It should have more thermal resistance, for example. Maybe it already does, I don't know. But it doesn't really seem like that's... like it's really all that important. Really, the reason why you pick the different suits is because the Dominator suit, you can have 2 primary weapons. The Maverick suit, you can have the cutter. The arc cutter. And the Artemis suit, you can have the genetic sampler. Like, there should be more that sets them apart. I would love it if, instead of a primary weapon, I could... a second primary weapon, I could bring my Dominator suit with the arc cutter. There's a game, Insurgency. It's kind of like CSGO, but designed to be more realistic. And the way that you customize for each round is just absolute perfection. You spend points with, like, for the different weapons and the different suits and all this kind of stuff, and it's counter-terrorists versus terrorists like CSGO, but the terrorists, they tend to have armor-piercing weapons, and there are... well, actually, it's not that they tend to have... their armor-piercing rounds are cheaper than the counter-terrorists, whereas the high protection armor is more expensive. And so it's actually kind of cool, that setup, but and then there's the grenade setups that you can have. But yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you be able to stick a suppressor on your pistol? Right? Why does it need to be modified for audio masking? Like, yeah, okay, you stick a suppressor on your pistol and you're still firing supersonic rounds. Yes, it's going to be loud. But they don't really care about ammunition outside of how much you're carrying on you. So, you can just say, well, if you've got a suppressor on your pistol, you're going to be using subsonic rounds. Whatever. You can just write it off that way. But, I mean, given the whole... So, on the roadmap, they were like, oh yeah, it's a new mission type, and it's just safeguard, but illegal. It's like, well, what's the point in that? You took safeguard missions and you made them worse! I don't know, I haven't done it. I haven't done the new safeguard but illegal mission, so maybe there's like some benefit to it. I mean, I imagine it probably has really good rewards. Safeguard missions have better rewards than average, and illegal missions have better rewards than average, so I imagine an illegal safeguard mission would just give you like tons of material. But it's like, why? That's not something to brag about. That's just kind of a basic thing. It's a minor thing. It's like, it's ridiculously minor. But, I mean, honestly, if the key feature overhaul is an engineer revamp, that would be nice. That would be nice. But we'll have to see. I don't know. But then again, how would you carry over old engineering, right? Like, maybe if like, okay, yeah, you can get a suppressor for your pistol. Okay, how would you carry over audio masking? Would you just give everyone who got audio masking for their pistol, would you give them a suppressor? And this, especially for the ship engineering. Like, people get pissed that, like, oh yeah, they just copied and pasted the combat system from how ships were into ground conflicts, but I don't mind that. I don't mind the whole shield, lasers for shields, bullets for bodies thing. I think it makes sense. I think that if personal shielding exists, there should be, like, it shouldn't just be you that has it. And I can't really see any other way to, like, set up these ground conflict zones the way they wanted them, which is, I mean, the player should be the MVP of these, right? Like, that's kind of the thing. It's like, you shouldn't be struggling against these bots. The whole idea is that you are the elite force that they bring in. Oh, that's actually another thing. One thing that bothers me is that these ground conflict zones, they don't have any effect on influence, which they honestly should. You know the funny thing? The entire reason why I play Elite Dangerous is because I got into this because I really like the space trading genre, but we haven't been doing any space trading. Of course, to be fair, I mean, a large part of why I like the space trading genre is because of the other stuff that you can do. Specifically, like, you can build colonies in a lot of space trading games. But yeah, building a colony would actually be really cool. And that's something that I really, really want to see as a feature in Elite Dangerous, but I don't know if that's really even possible. Honestly, with the way the game is designed, especially once they added settlements. Like, it seems like the only way we're gonna get anything like that is with fleet carriers. Like, that's the only colony that you're ever gonna be allowed to have. And they do have a good argument as to, like for example, the fleet carrier upkeep that they talked about for fleet carriers, especially since it wouldn't be fleet carriers, it would be colonies. And if you have the colonies be self-sustaining, like colonies are in the base game, it shouldn't be an issue. What would be especially nice is if you could build up a colony such that it was actually independent, and you know, you can kind of like tax it and things like that. But you would have to go like scouting for like what sort of economy the colony would have. You could solve problems with it, like maybe there's an economic downturn, maybe the resource that you were mining at the colony isn't worth as much anymore, there isn't as much demand for it, so you need to like expand its operations or do cutbacks or something like that for the colony to survive. And maybe that could be the way that you make sure that people stay active, is that if you don't solve these issues within a reasonable amount of time, then the colony gets abandoned. You know? If there's economic downturn, if the colony is doing bad and you don't provide any leadership, any solutions for like a month, then, you know, people start leaving, right? Like, people will start leaving after like a week, and by the time a month hits, the colony will be completely abandoned, and you have to basically rebuild it if you come back to it. And I think that would be kind of cool. That would be a way to get the colony system working in Elite Dangerous. But yeah, that's like the one main thing that I want in Elite Dangerous, is because that is what is so cool in so many of these space trading games, is like having a colony system. And I would really like to see that in Elite Dangerous, and unfortunately we just don't have it. And basically with the reasoning of FDev for why fleet carriers need upkeep, it doesn't seem like that's going to be a thing. But can you imagine like setting up a colony for mining iron, and you can just like, if you want to engineer a ship, you just go, you get some iron from that colony in lieu of taxation, you know? They mine iron and sulfur and magnesium, for example, and yeah, you go and you know, the market, you know, shifts on those and all that kind of stuff. And you can set up a colony nearby on the moon of a gas giant, and that colony is built around having ships go out and mining the materials in the gas giant. You have to pay taxes to, you know, for the protection ships, or better yet, you actually, you know, like hire people to protect your mining ships, and you hire mining ships, you hire miners, and you outfit them with mining ships. And yeah, like you could get like just like a whole bunch of pythons. Like you could buy like a dozen pythons and have them mining these diamonds. And of course the materials that you get from the mining, you could have that. And you could have a colony set up for refinement. And you could do that with engineering materials, right? Too. You could have it so where like you buy iron from this other colony that you own, and you turn that into mechanical scrap or whatever. Yeah, we can just get from a mining place. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But you know, the point is like you could have these different colonies that have like different things. Have different economies, and you could have them working together, and that would be such a cool system, and it would be a way to expand the bubble. I want to see the bubble expand, and I want to like the thing is, like, Elite Dangerous, first of all, the player base of Elite Dangerous, the numbers, it's very low, you know, like, the entire galaxy, you don't have time to be starting colonies from scratch all over the galaxy. This is not gonna be an issue. Alright, so this is the last conflict zone we're gonna do on stream. As you can see, we're already up to 110 million. So, I mean, kind of we're gonna be halfway there, but not really, because we started out with like 60 million credits. So, probably gonna need to spend 6 to 8 hours grinding for credits off camera, and I do want to get some opinion polls. Maybe not all 7 that we need, but genetic repair meds. I don't seem to be cooking this. Like, it should have exploded by now if I was cooking it. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and quit to the main menu and come back because AI is a little bugged out. I'm in danger! Yeah, with the guys that can't frickin' move. Sure. So dangerous. You might even say, elite dangerous. Oh ho 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 ho. Oh ho 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 ho. Oh ho ho ho. Oh ho ho ho. Oh ho ho ho. No. Okay. Is that the dudes always focus you? I don't particularly like that. Kind of makes it very difficult to justify flanking, which is not very nice. I'm gonna be honest. I like to flank. I mean, I like to be versatile. That's kind of the thing. That's why... So, as bad as I am at medic in TF2 and at really any healer in Overwatch, I found that playing support in Paladins is what I prefer. Simply because support characters, the healer characters in Paladins, are the most versatile in terms of what they can do for the team. Especially Furia and... Io. Io especially, like, my goodness. Yes, indeed. That's the most we've made so far. 13.5 million credits. I was really kind of focusing on staying with my teammate. So, again, I don't know if that's been nerfed or if it's just this system. Some systems do seem better for conflict zones in terms of, like, money that you get from them than others. You would think grade 4 we would be getting more, and I would expect that, but either they nerfed it, or this system is just not a very good place for bounties, for bronze, I guess I should say, not bounties. Anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna grind out some more combat bonds between this episode and next, so that we have enough for a beluga liner, and I'm going to try and get some genetic repair meds and some opinion polls. But that's going to be everything for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope the rest of your day is a good one. Bye.